Hi guys, it's Nicole again today. How are you? I'm going to talk a little bit about more personal finance in this video. So, in our last episode, we were talking about how to make a budget. So, what happens when your bills are more than your income? Well, it gets kind of bad after a while. For a little bit, you could probably, I don't know, borrow money from your parents if you're lucky, pay stuff on a credit card, or worst case scenario, what happens when you don't pay your bills for a long time? They send you to what's called a collection agency. And if you've never had experience with this, collection agency is these people that call you on the phone. And they call and they yell at you and they say, you owe us lots of money. It's kind of like a telemarketer, except they don't want you to buy something. They want you to pay for stuff that you already bought it and you didn't pay for it. So that gets kind of bad. Most of the time you get put into a collection agency for credit cards or like for your phone bill, but before they do it for your phone bill, they'll shut off your phone. So you kind of got a clue there. So that's when things are starting to go real bad. But collection agencies, basically what they do, they got a little bit of wiggle room. They already know, like, you can't really pay your bills. If you would have been having a lot of money and being able to pay your bills, you would have paid them in the first place. So they got a little wiggle room to negotiate with you. And you can ask them for a payment plan. Sometimes you can even ask them, like, if they're willing to settle for less than the amount you owe. I don't know how often that happens. Like, I was in collections for a lot of things when I got divorced because getting divorced is really expensive. So I didn't have a lot of money to pay all the credit cards. But what I did, some of them, I would call and I'd be like, well, I don't really have the money for that. I'm getting divorced. I barely have money to buy like food. So it's got to kind of go on the back burner. Is there something you could do to help me out? And when you ask people in an open way, is there something you can do to help me out? They'll offer you what they have. So sometimes, like, I have one credit card, they're like, oh yeah, if you pay half this amount that you owe, we'll write it off. I'm like, sweet, paying half as much sounds real good. Otherwise, ask if you can make a payment plan if they don't do something like that. And where I start negotiating for a payment plan for anything, I tell them I can pay $50 a month because, I mean, that's like the bare minimum that most places will take. A lot of them will negotiate you up to pay more, and then it's kind of up to you if you can afford it, if you can take it, if you can't, what the circumstances was that you had all that stuff going in collections in the first place. And if you were like me, you didn't pay your bill because you couldn't pay your bill. And I think most people who don't pay their bill, that's why. I would say second most common reason people don't pay their bill is they forgot about it. I don't know. Like, there was one time I went to go get an x-ray. And when you go to the doctor, they send you like 15 different bills. There's like the doctor in the emergency room, the doctor for the intake, the doctor for like these 13 other things. So I missed the x-ray. The x-ray was like $75. I didn't pay for it. I forgot. I don't know. Or whatever. You never got the bill. They sent it to the wrong house. There was a different Nicole and they sent it to her or whatever. So I would say the two most common reasons you didn't pay your bill: you didn't know you had the bill and you couldn't pay your bill. So if you still can't pay your bills when all those people start to call you, there's two things you can do. First, you can go to a credit counseling center, which I went to a company called National Credit Card that helped me fix my credit. And what they do, they try to get all these things taken off your credit report. You can also go to consumer credit counseling, which basically what they do, they talk to all your creditors for you. And you pay them as much money as you can every month, and it goes into like your little bank account. When you got enough money in your little bank account, they start to pay stuff off for you. And all those collection agency people that were calling you, they start calling them instead. And they're like, okay, well, I can pay you, then you, then you, then you, and they put them in the queue and then they pay it off. So, but if you don't have money to pay anything at all, you can't, whatever happened and it's still going on, like, I don't know, maybe you fell off the roof, you can't walk anymore, maybe you got cancer, maybe something really, really bad happened to you and you can't. Then what you want to do, you want to file bankruptcy. And if you Google it, there's like all these different forms, and your state usually has like 3 forms. You can fill them out by yourself and take it to like whatever office it tells you to, or you can hire a lawyer. My parents had to do that. And you pay them like $500. They fix your bankruptcy, and then you pay them like another $500. I mean, my parents did it was like 20 years ago. It might be more than $500 now, but that's basically your options. You either set up a payment plan, you do credit counseling, or you file bankruptcy, or some combination of those in some order. But if you think you're on the road to bankruptcy, well, do what you got to do. It hits your credit for like 7 years, so you won't be able to get like credit cards for a while. But if you were having trouble with your credit cards in the first place, maybe that's not such a bad thing. So hopefully this advice helps you a little bit. If you're struggling, just look up those resources. They should be fairly easy to find. It's fairly easy for me to find. A lot of those credit counseling places have ads on the radio like all the time. So follow your ad on the radio and call them and get yourself squared away. Because those collection agency people are mean. You don't want them to keep on calling you. It's not good. All right, guys. Have a nice day.